Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I am starting a different kind of video because I am starting a vlog, which is not something I often do. I just don't usually. I've done a couple vlogs, but not very frequently. But I got sucked into a buddy read on Sarah Reed's Discords, and I thought it would be a fun book to vlog, and that is Ice Planet Barbarians. I've been very intrigued by this book for a while now, but I don't read a lot of speculative romance, and if I do, it's going to be fantasy and not sci-fi, so I just have never picked it up. But when a bunch of people said they were going to buddy read it, I was like, this is the time. This is the time to give it a shot. Let's do it. And I thought it might be entertaining to vlog, so we'll find out. So, it is Friday evening, and I just finished off a 10-hour workday to really round out my week. I spent the entire week crying internally over Heartstopper, so it just felt like the right time to start a romance. So I'm going to read a couple pages of this book and then order dinner because my husband is out of town, and so I am not the cook in the household, so I'll be ordering myself pizza because he's also lactose intolerant. So we're really taking the opportunity to get some cheesy pizza today. And then, yeah, after dinner, I will watch a baseball game, and I'll probably read some during that too, in between innings. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think my plan is to finish this just over this weekend. I don't have a ton of plans tomorrow either, and then I have some plans Sunday, but I should be able to finish this just over this weekend, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, first off, apologies for this shitty lighting. My house just kind of has shitty lighting, and we have not remedied that in most places, so this is where it's gonna be. But anyways, I have finished part 1 and 2, and I did not say this in the first clip, but this is going to be a spoiler vlog because that's part of the fun, right? So I finished the first 2 parts. I think there's 6 parts overall, and I'm enjoying it. Actually, it's super campy, but in a fun way. Like it's supposed to be campy, and thus I'm enjoying it. Not in the author tried really hard to have really deep and beautiful writing, and it came off really poorly. No, I think it's just supposed to be campy, and I'm pretty here for that. Comments so far. Well, Georgie seemed entirely not concerned enough about being abducted by aliens in the first part. She talked about how scared they were, but she didn't feel scared. So I was like, girl, you need to be more concerned about this. The first encounter between Georgie and Vector, a little dubious, but I just have conflicting feelings on it, because if this was a contemporary romance or even historical, something set on Earth with humans, that would not be cool. But given that Vector is an alien from an entirely different planet with entirely different cultural norms, it feels more dubious and less straightforward. I'm not saying it was totally cool, but it feels more dubious and less bad than if it had been a contemporary romance. Anyways, so some mixed feelings on that. Let's see, what else? Part 2. I'm excited for them to make it back to the spaceship. I hope they make it back, because I want to see the rest of the squad's reaction to Vector, and also the girl with the translator ear thing is there. And I think that could be helpful, because I'm very intrigued as to how they're going to successfully communicate. If it's going to be Project Hail Mary, where they just figure out each other's languages, or if it's going to be some kind of translation situation. So yeah, that's my thoughts 2 chapters in. And yeah, enjoying it. Looking forward to continuing on. Alright, it is now Saturday morning, and I read through part 4 of this last night, but it was very dark in here, and I tried to film and it just looked really, really bad. So I was like, we'll just do this when I get up in the morning. So yes, hello, I'm still in pajamas, and excuse my washing machine in the background. But yeah, so I read through part 4. And that's where I stopped last night. I definitely could have finished this in one setting, but I had kind of reached my camp limit for the evening. I was having a good time with how kind of campy it was. But I hit a point where I was kind of done with that vibe for the night. And I felt if I finished it last night, then I might have liked it less than if I kind of waited to reset my mind. Because I definitely could have finished it, because after I stopped reading this last night, I read an entire 300-page historical romance novel. So here we are. I was just still in a romance mood, and I just wanted something different. But yeah, so I am intrigued with how they're going to communicate with each other, because I thought the girl with the translator bug would be the key, but she can't talk. I thought she could, the translator thing in her ear would, let her speak the languages, but she could only hear. So we've only halfway solved the communication errors. As well, I'm pretty unbothered by Victal's like, I must sleep with you all the time immediately thing, because that's kind of like his whole Quee soulmate, fated mates thing, like pushing that. But I am definitely side-eyeing Georgie with how down she is to like be sleeping with him immediately and stuff, because she doesn't have that. She's just a human woman. I'm like, girl, you're I feel like you should be a little bit more skeptical of an actual alien doing this. Also, the fact that when they did sleep together, and I think this might have actually been part 2. I just didn't comment on it at the time. I was thinking about it later. When they did sleep together the first time, and she had like a mental thought, oh, he can't get me pregnant because he's a different species. That's not going to end well. Like I just don't feel as if that will end well. Because if you're going to make a point of thinking, oh, I can't get pregnant from this in a romance novel, I'm going to assume that you're going to get pregnant from it. So we'll see if that happens, because I'm not generally here for pregnancy in romances, especially if I didn't know that is going to happen going into it. So I'm hoping it doesn't. I think that's like an epilogue thing, but we'll find out, because epilogue thing is like whatever. So also part 4 kind of ended on a pseudo cliffhanger with them in like another one of the caves on the island, and the planet, and her realizing the cave was actually just an old spaceship. And she ended this like it was this like big reveal of a cliffhanger, but I'm gonna be honest, I really don't care if it's a spaceship. Like it wasn't an interesting cliffhanger to me. I don't know, maybe that's just me. So anyways, soldiering on today. I'm definitely gonna finish this today though, like for sure. Just finished part 5, and what did I say? What is that? I don't even know if you can read that. She's talking about being pregnant. What did I say? When I called it. Anyways, other comment here is, despite this being a sci-fi romance, I did not expect the Quee thing to be so sciencey. I think I expected it to be like kind of like a hand wavy magic-y thing, and then now it's like a parasite, and that's like creeping me out a little bit. I'm like not into that. That's kind of gross. So, yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Girl, what? Be upset. Why are you not upset? Girl, I cannot. Okay, so it's like a week and a half later, because I'm editing the vlog for Ice Planet Barbarians, and I realized I did not film my final thoughts clip. My bad. I've already returned the book to the library and everything, so I can't even like hold it up. So, whoops. But here we are with some belated last thoughts clips. I guess to you it's not belated. It's all in one video. Yeah, so I ended up giving this almost like one of those books that I shouldn't rate, because objectively it like wasn't that good. Like I didn't think the writing was like not great. It wasn't so bad that it turned me off, but like it wasn't good either. And I definitely had some like complaints about the plot, like things I mentioned in like previous clips, like there was a surprise pregnancy in it, the dubiousness of some of their encounters. I just thought the book went towards sex scenes much quicker than I usually want in books. So that one, because of the kind of trope of the fated mates, the Quee thing, like propelling Vector to do, was not quite as bothersome as when there's like not a trope or setup reason for it to happen sooner. But I still don't particularly prefer it when it happens sooner. I like later. But also I just had a fun time reading it. So I did end up giving it a 4 on Goodreads, just from the my enjoyment factor, less from the objective, which even the objective opinion is subjective because reviews aren't objective. But anyways, yeah, I think it was because I had the exact right expectations for this. I expected it to be kind of ridiculous, kind of campy. I was not expecting for it to be necessarily like blown away by the writing, because I feel like this is the kind of series and book and author that is like just pumps out books like candy, for the type of romance reader that just like reads a book a day on KU. And that's definitely like a strategy in romance, and so I think I just expect a little bit different kind of writing, I guess. I'm trying not to be like mean about it, because I didn't hate the writing. It just wasn't like as well written as I would expect like a traditionally published romance book to be. It was fine. But yeah, I think I did have a fun time just because I had the right expectations for it. I will say, so the buddy read I ended up doing on the Discord was partially non-romance readers, and I would absolutely not recommend this for a non-romance reader. Like, if you're not someone who's into romance and you're looking just to, like, try one out for funsies, would not recommend this one, because I think the level of kind of campy, kind of ridiculous tropiness, and a lot of it is good for romance readers who are deep in the genre. and kind of expect that kind of thing. But if you're not a romance reader, this book is absolutely not going to get you to like romance, I don't think. I just don't think it's written for people who aren't already just deep in the tropes and genre. As for will I continue the series? Unsure. Like, I have no active plans to keep reading the series. Like, this book did not awaken in me a love of alien romances or like a need to just read a bunch of sci-fi romances, but I am slightly intrigued in at least book 2 because the whole thing in this book was they had just landed on this planet, so they didn't know anything about the alien tribes, like cultural, or they didn't know how to speak to. They couldn't speak to each other for like half the book. And now with other books, it's all following the other girls who are on the ship with Georgie and the other guys in the tribe. And so, but now going in each book, they already know well, maybe not know each other personally, but they know the cultural stuff between. They can already talk. So like you've already overcome some of those obstacles. So I'm a little intrigued as to how she would tell a story without those obstacles being there, just as like them being people who already know each other because they all like live together in the village. So I'm a little intrigued just to see what would happen with that versus what the setup in the first one, but I'm not super compelled. Like, I'm definitely not putting it on my open series list towards my open series counter because I'm not that invested. But if for whatever reason I was just in the mood for like a really campy story, or like I was doing some kind of like read along or reading challenge or something that just like had a prompt for like a sci-fi romance, I'd probably pick up the second one, kind of if those those situations. But yeah. Yeah, it was an experience. I'm definitely glad I tried it, just because I've been hearing about it everywhere, a little bit of FOMO, being like, what is this book all about? Now I know, and I definitely don't regret picking it up.